what's really interesting about Vistapointe is they've developed a real-time customer intelligence engine. And that engine is designed to gather information from around the network, but not just all the information, which is what traditional solutions do, but only the critical information that's necessary to kind of understand customer experience, understand the security aspects of what's going on in the network, what services are actually generating revenue or not, and just take that critical information and pass it back into the cloud so it can be analyzed, passed into third-party systems, produced into dashboards. Let me explain some of the use cases that we've found as we kind of looked at some of these tools. The first is understanding the monetization of the network, understanding which applications and services are actually generating revenue, which applications are not. That's critical for mobile operators because they kind of need to understand where they should focus. And if they've got applications like voice traffic, which isn't generating revenue for them, maybe it's third-party applications that are doing that, they need to kind of track that and monitor that so that they can understand how their own services are competing with third-party systems. And that enables them to tweak things like what the voice call rate should be versus what the data rate should be, and so on. So being able to understand what those applications are, how much traffic they're generating, and really kind of getting to the essence of that data in real-time sense so that you can kind of see when new applications really take off and the impact they're having to the network is critical. Another example is there's a huge amount of traffic that floats around the network which isn't actually monetized. There's a lot of control traffic, a lot of network traffic, and that, if you like, is kind of parasitical to the network because it's eating into the margins of the network. Some of it's necessary, some of it's not. Not many people really understand how much of that network traffic is really out there and what it's doing. So the simple ability to understand, okay, this is the traffic that's generating revenue, and this is the traffic that isn't. Oh, and by the way, this is how it's broken down. That's essential to understanding the efficiency of the network over time. So there's a lot of talk about quality of experience, and a lot of tools out there that have been trying to understand and get kind of some depth about what the real experience of users is. And ultimately, at the end of the day, this is about processing large amounts of information and getting it back into a place that can be analyzed. What Vistapointe have done, again, is to figure out what the essential information is about what really impacts the customer experience. Dropped calls, low latency or high latency, jitter on the service, and really package this up in a way that can be aggregated so you can say, this is how my network is really experienced by customers, again, delivered in a simple dashboard that can be analyzed or passed into third-party tools. So that criticality of understanding both at an aggregate big data, this is how my network's really experienced, and at the individual subscriber level. So how good is the experience for this individual user? Is it good, bad, indifferent? What problems are they having? How many drop calls are they having, etc. Example of this is starting to play out in new services like VoLTE. Now, operators, as they deliver VoLTE, are going to be very sensitive to the performance of their network. Jitter and latency hasn't really been a problem in networks to this point relating to IP traffic. Today and now, it is. And if VoLTE and new voice services that operators are rolling out have any chance of competing with some of the third-party services that are out there, the quality had better be exceptional. And there's going to need to be tools to monitor both the jitter and latency and end-to-end service quality of voice-over IP services such as VoLTE. So again, being able to monitor that service end-to-end with the right data and build this picture at an individual subscriber level or at an aggregate level is critical for mobile operators going forward. Another area that's really important from a focus perspective for most mobile operators is customer care. Now, for any of you who've called into mobile operators and had complaints about your service, you'll know how incredibly hard it is to both describe the problem of what's being experienced and to kind of get really valid answers about what the problems are and how to resolve them. So being able to understand the individual user's experience over time and present that information in a way that says, okay, I'm really sorry you had 10 drop calls last week. This is why you had those drop calls. This is the issue you had around them. And this is what we're going to do to fix it. It's kind of critical if you're going to maintain a high quality relationship with your customer. And for most people who call in to mobile operators today, that care experience is frankly suboptimal. So having the right level of information from the network, and being able to present that in a format that the care agent can quickly absorb and come back to the end user and say, yeah, this is the problem, is going to be a really important way of improving and driving up customer satisfaction over time. So one of the things that's really getting the attention of the security folks in most mobile operators is the explosion in all the different types of apps that are out there. There are literally millions of apps out there now. Most of them, of course, are completely benign, have exactly the right purpose in life, which is to entertain and be useful to consumers. There are some, however, that cause problems, either because they're not written properly or they're malicious. An example of applications that are not written properly are those that generate huge amounts of signaling, bringing services and connections up and down very, very frequently. It's not surprising then, given how many people are out there that are writing applications, that some of them are not going to be written well and do in fact cause massive problems. Being able to identify those applications really early on in real time and be able to kind of figure out what's going on so you can take action is absolutely critical. So having that kind of early warning system for what apps are out there, what's generating traffic, what's not performing well is critical. When you then kind of think about the malicious aspects of it, denial of service attacks and so on, and understanding again what type of traffic is being generated from where to where, under what conditions and with what apps, tying together both the mobile subscriber knowledge and the application knowledge and bringing all of these different elements together gives you that complete picture that you need to do to secure your network.